This figure who has no head, who does not have the ability to see you, but somehow can see you. There's no mouth to speak. I mean, there's no voice, and that's really frightening.
The legend of the Headless Horseman has terrified us for almost 200 years. But since the beginning of rock and roll, rock stars have been the target of some urban legends of their own.
Rock stars are just, I don't know, they're so alluring. Somebody has to have a more exciting life than you do. So you sort of create it for them.
It's a form of escape. You know, they grab hold of something that they can relate to, and it's something they can use in their life. You know.
You've probably heard the one about how Kiss bassist Gene Simmons got his most famous feature. Legend has it that Simmons actually had a cow's tongue sewn onto his own in order to create the world's biggest mouth muscle.
It's not true. It's just a damn long tongue, and it's a good thing, because otherwise I'm hung like a killer moth. This small.
So maybe you know all about the rock rumors from the 70s, but have you heard the legends the 90s have to offer? Take, for example, the controversy surrounding the numerically named band 311, who came to fame in 1996 when their first hit, Down, spread across the nation like wildfire, along with a wild rumor about the mathematics of their moniker.
We just like being a number, and we would leave it up to speculation.
It began in Omaha's West Side High School, the very same school that the band members actually attended. The legend goes like this. Since K is the 11th letter in the alphabet, 3 11s equal KKK, the initials of the Ku Klux Klan. Ridiculous, right? Not according to the Omaha Police Department, who told school officials that 311 fans were members of a white supremacist gang. Eventually, the naked truth about the band's name was exposed.
It was just a joke, a funny little thing about someone got a ticket for indecent exposure, and that's the police code, and that's how we got the name.
Not surprisingly, spooky kid Marilyn Manson is no stranger to sick and twisted rumors, one of which still persists, that he got his start in show business playing Fred Savage's geeky best friend, Paul Pfeiffer, on The Wonder Years. Actually, Paul Pfeiffer was played by actor Josh Saviano. Now, there's also a rumor that Manson played the son on Mr. Belvedere.
You know, I've never even seen that show. It started with Wonder Years. They used to say I was on that.
And maybe you've heard the rumor about Marilyn having 2 of his ribs surgically removed to make himself a little more, well, let's just say, flexible.
It stands to reason if I could perform oral sex on myself, then I wouldn't be on the Wonder Years chasing Winnie Cooper.
Very good answer.
Kind of cancels each other out.
But it's not just rock's bad boys that are the targets of tall tales. In the summer of 1995, Alanis Morissette got everyone's attention with her aggressive breakout hit, You Oughta Know.
Did you forget about me? I hate to bug you in the middle of dinner.
And in the process started one of the weirdest rock rumors of the decade, that the song's angry lyrics were directed at wholesome Full House star Bob Saget. It's more plausible that the song is actually about Saget's Full House co-star, Dave Coulier, who briefly dated fellow Canadian Morissette after they met at a hockey game. Yet still others believe that the song's frantic refrain is directed at Friends star Matt LeBlanc, who appeared in one of Morissette's first videos. Who is the song really about?
I think people are misconstruing why I wrote the song. You know, I didn't write it for the sake of revenge. I wrote it for the sake of release. I love men.
We may never know. True or not, those stories are quickly becoming rock legends in their own right. Many truly immortal tales are based on the discovery of a hidden evil.
The assassin is a man of flesh and blood, and I will discover him.
Are you so certain of everything?
Throughout music history, fans and critics alike have announced their discovery of allegedly evil messages hidden in backward tracks and secret recordings. But part of finding a hidden message is knowing where to look. Who knows? There may even be hidden messages in a place you never suspected, like your own CD collection.
I think probably the first couple ones were accidental, and then afterwards there was some band that was like, yeah, it's cool, we should have a hidden message in ours too.
I played some Menudo records backwards early on, and it was frightening because nothing, in fact, happened. Absolutely nothing.
For example, when reversed, some thought Queen's Another One Bites the Dust contained a pro-pot message.
Oh, I have enough trouble just understanding, like, anything, you know, so, you know, playing backwards, it's like, whoa, okay.
In 1986, people began replacing their vinyl collections with CDs. But mysterious tracks didn't disappear. They just found new places to hide. In fact, compact disc technology has given today's artists new ways to bury information on their releases for anyone patient enough to find it. Kid Rock's Devil Without a Cause? If you want to hear the remix of I Am the Bull God, just wait 7 seconds after the last song and check it out. On Offspring's Americana, you can fast forward 1 minute after the last song to get a remix of Pretty Fly for a White Guy, as well as an interactive karaoke option on CD-ROM. You may have had Marilyn Manson's Antichrist Superstar since the day it came out in 1996, but have you heard its hidden track? Want to find it? Fast forward to track number 99 and press play. But it's Madonna's contribution to the Spy Who Shagged Me soundtrack, Beautiful Stranger, that kicks it the old school way. Once you've heard these hidden tracks, you can get started on finding a few more. Here are some hints. Another eerie phenomenon called synchronicity can occur when two entirely different things seem to match up when played at the same time. If you watch The Wizard of Oz while listening to Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon, and you start the CD just as the lion roars for the 3rd time, you might get a little freaked out when the music begins to match up with the movie. For example, you might notice the loud thumping of a heartbeat coming from your stereo just as Dorothy puts her ear to the Tin Man's ticker. But that's just a coincidence. Or is it? Looking for a more recent example of synchronicity? Try replacing the soundtrack to Fantasia with Siamese Dream from the Smashing Pumpkins, and the uncanny coincidences continue.
I think I was listening to The Cure and a Godzilla movie together, and it worked out pretty good. That's what's cool about it, is that you could almost turn on anything to anything and you get something out of it. You see it in a different way and you hear it in a different way. It's quite exciting.
Coming up, the curious case of a techno rocker and a torch singer who some say are exchanging secret messages in their music. Plus, we'll hear evidence suggesting that a certain ill-fated rock star may have known his days were numbered.
MTV's Fashionably Loud Week begins with True Life, I'm a Model, a private peek into the hectic life of former Fry Girl and Model Mission 98 winner Crystal McKinney. Fall face first into fashion tomorrow night at 10.
Bunny is soft. Say soft. Blanky is soft. Say soft. Okay, time to change you.
So soft, we guarantee it, because Pampers Premium's cloth-like from the inside out. So soft, if you don't agree, you'll get your money back.
Soft. Like Daddy's tummy.
Pampers Premium. For details, call 1-888-OH-SO-SOFT.
Mother Boyle and son Tim demonstrate their Columbia Parker's radial sleeves and zip-out liner. The Columbia interchange system adapts to any outdoor situation.
Kids today need to learn patience. My son knows when he does the dishes, he has to take his time. First, the pots and pans have to be set aside, then soaked, scrubbed, and carefully loaded in the dishwasher.
Cascade Plus, packed with amazing power pre-treaters, blasts away tough food problems you thought your dishwasher couldn't handle. Where other detergents fail, Cascade Plus leaves incredible results. Perfect. Cascade Plus, leave the tough stuff to us.
I guess you could say I'm always looking for a challenge. So when I heard Old Spice had this high endurance challenge, how can I say no? It's a long-lasting, white solid antiperspirant that goes on clear. Look, no flakes. And talk about stopping wetness. I'm out here all day and this stuff really lasts. Guaranteed. So take the high endurance challenge CPR! Hang on, little buddy!
Morning.
How you doing?
Okay. There's a man out there. He's lost. He's cold and he's alone. We've got about 3 hours to find him. But we could probably squeeze in a few games of You Don't Know Jack. Huh?
The Irreverent Quiz Show Party Game is now available for PlayStation game consoles. And if you didn't know that...
Yo, Damien! More schnapps.
You don't know Jack.
Amazingly cool, exhilarating, not a classic, a piece of art. It's the movie that Ain't It Cool News calls nothing short of a masterpiece. Sleepy Hollow, rated R, now playing everywhere.
Welcome back to MTV's Music, Myths, and Mysteries. I'm Ananda, and we're exploring some legends of the music world with the help of Johnny Depp, Tim Burton, and Christina Ricci, who have a legend of their own called Sleepy Hollow.
Goodbye, Ichabod Crane. I curse the day you came to Sleepy Hollow.
In fact, this is the actual cemetery where, legend has it, the Headless Horseman's victims were buried. You've seen how artists like Korn and Marilyn Manson have buried hidden messages to their fans in their music. But now, we're going to take a look at a case in which two artists may have been using their music to pass secret messages to each other. Is it a war of words or just a weird coincidence? This is one of those infamous rumors that began on the internet. It originally started when die-hard Tori Amos fans noticed that the singer appeared to be making a reference to a certain industrial rock band. See if you can guess which one. Notice that the lyrics to the song contain the name of this 9 Inch Nails album. So what secrets are these two hiding? Well, we know that both Trent and Tori like to channel the spirits when recording their albums. In 1995, Tori lived and recorded in a 150-year-old haunted house in Ireland. And it's no secret that Trent recorded his Downward Spiral album in the former home of Sharon Tate, where the infamous Manson family murders took place. Tori actually visited the mansion during recording, leading to rumors of a secret one-night affair. Fans kept the rumor mill going by pointing out that the would-be couple seemed to share an unlikely affection for pigs. The pigs have won tonight. Fans also noticed that both Reznor and Amos released double albums on the same exact date earlier this year. But perhaps the most outrageous internet rumor claims that Trent and Tori are actually brother and sister. So what is Trent's real relationship to Tori?
Tori Amos was just someone that I met as a friend, and I always respected her work a lot.
So it seems that the controversy about Tori and Trent is just one more example of music fans getting all wrapped up in an urban legend and losing their heads. In the legend of Sleepy Hollow, the same thing nearly happened to Ichabod Crane. Most of the Headless Horseman's victims didn't know that their days were numbered. But some music fans believe one rap star did. He may even have predicted how and when his death would happen. How do we know? The answer lies in his lyrics. From Elvis Presley to Brad Noel of Sublime, it's no secret that the lives of rock stars have been cut short by tragic circumstances. One of the spookiest coincidences may be the existence of the so-called 27 Club, the group of ill-fated performers who all died at the age of 27. Even more fascinating, though, is the recent death of someone who never made it into the 27 Club, but who seemingly knew that the end was near. His name is Tupac Shakur, and he died as a result of gunshot wounds on Friday the 13th, 1996. But it wasn't only the date of his death that spooked his fans. It was the way that he seemed to predict the tragedy. Just days after his death, his video, I Ain't Mad At Ya, hit the airwaves, chilling audiences with scenes of Tupac being shot and ascending to heaven. Tupac's tragic death became even more surreal with the posthumous release of an album he recorded just prior to the shooting, Machiavelli, The 7-Day Theory. Check out these lyrics.
My time away just made perfection. I think I die. Brothers getting shot, coming back, resurrected.
In fact, many people saw a startling coincidence in the title of the album itself, The 7-Day Theory, the exact number of days between the shooting on September 6th and his pronounced death on September 13th. Numerologists also point out that the digits in Tupac's age, 25, and his time of death, 403, both add to 7. Fans also noticed that the rapper refers to himself as Machiavelli, perhaps after the 16th century philosopher Niccolo Machiavelli, whom Tupac studied in prison. In a book called The Art of War, Machiavelli advocated faking his death to outwit his enemies. Did Tupac do the same? Bolstering these rumors are clues left behind in Shakur's last works. The video for the posthumously released Hail Mary features a headstone bearing the name Machiavelli. But the grave has been disturbed. Even the liner notes for the album Machiavelli listed a previously unknown producer by the name of Simon, which happens to be the name of the apostle who witnessed Christ's return from the dead.
I think it's absolutely possible for an artist to predict his own death in a very innocent way. These people who are hypersensitive to not only their surroundings but to their guts and their innards and their inner life, and have a kind of a deep, sort of profound understanding of what is and what is to be.
But the Tupac conspiracy theory doesn't end there. Some people actually predict that Tupac will come back from beyond the grave in the year 2003, exactly 7 years after his death. Guess we'll just have to wait and see. Coming up, we'll hear the heart-stopping tales of a few artists who have literally come back from the dead. And we'll look into the latest ghostly rumor about the gloved one when we return with more of MTV's music, myths, and mysteries.
Now boarding MTV's once-in-a-lifetime millennial adventure around the world, Fly 2K.
Could I offer you another beverage?
Welcome to MTV's private party plane with in-flight entertainment from 98 Degrees, Goo Goo Dolls, and DJ Scribble. First stop, Cairo, where we'll pick up more global winners.
Congratulations!
Then hello, Rome. Pack your DVD player, compliments of warehouse music, as we head for Paris. Then London to pick up the Goo Goo Dolls.
Goo! Goo Goo!
Our final destination, New York City, for the world's biggest Millennium celebration. Bring in 2000 from the MTV Times Square studio with performances from 98 Degrees, Goo Goo Dolls, Puff Daddy, Bush, Blink-182, Christina Aguilera, Jay-Z, and more. To be one of the 10 Fly 2K winners, watch TRL Monday, November 29th for a special 800 number and online address. Thank you for flying with MTV.
This MTV Millennium Contest is brought to you by Clairol Herbal Essences, a totally organic experience.
What is it? 12 syllables, 7 words. Oh, gosh. Sounds like rhymes with...
It's a book!
Old Navy Performance Fleece Half Zip Pullover!
Where we go. Why are you singing? The power is out. But Old Navy Performance Fleece is in.
Hurry in for our item of the week. Performance Fleece half-zip pullovers for the family.
1 word. Sounds like...
It's a book!
How huge is the new Pop? Almost that huge.
Nice one. The new Pong. Massive new levels, major 3D graphics, and king-size competition. Outrageous arenas, special power-ups, killer moves, Pong soccer style. Take on water games and penguins. Yes, penguins. Up to 4 players can go at it in a big-time Pong-a-palooza. The new Pong. It's huge. For PC and the PlayStation game console. Only from Atari. Play again.
Ever have that dream where you're driving, introducing the next Celica?
Go!
If you're calling your village, collect calls with 1-800-CALL. AT&T can save you big bucks. It's the same low rates every minute, everywhere. 1-800-CALL-ATT.
You have saved big bucks, my son.
The Horseman's killer again! The mystery.
Is everyone in this village enthralled to superstition?
The magic.
Perhaps there's a bit of witch in you, because you've bewitched me.
The legend. Sleepy Hollow. Rated R. Now playing in theaters everywhere.
Now there's 2 new ways to save all night long. Sprint Nickel Nights just got better, and you get to choose which way is best for you. Now, when you switch to Sprint Nickel Nights, you can choose to include that great 5 cents a minute rate on your calling card calls. Or you can choose that 5 cents a minute rate on calls to anywhere in Canada from home. Call 1-877-4-NIGHTS now and switch to Sprint. You'll get Sprint Nickel Nights plus your choice of either calling card calls or calls to Canada from home. It's Sprint's best rate at the time that's best for you. And now you can include calling card calls or calls to Canada from home. So no matter where you are, at home or with your calling card, you're free to talk the night away. Isn't that the point of contact? Switch to Sprint Nickel Nights and include your choice of calling card calls or calls to Canada from home. Call 1-877-4-NIGHTS now.
Welcome back to MTV's Music, Myths, and Mysteries. I'm here in Sleepy Hollow, where we've already unraveled some classic rock controversies like Gene Simmons' non-human tongue and the myth about Manson's career as a child sitcom actor. Now it's time to examine a recent rumor about the king of pop that is literally hot off the press. On October 17th, the residents of the quiet farm town of Barnstable, England, were treated to a surprise appearance by the world's biggest pop star. Or so they believe. According to newspaper reports, Michael Jackson, who last officially performed in England before a sellout crowd of several thousand, took to the stage at a martial arts exhibition in front of a crowd of 450 karate students and their parents. Eyewitnesses report that Michael Jackson and a troupe of dancers tore through a short set that included Billie Jean and Smooth Criminal.
Michael Jackson didn't use any time whatsoever to rehearse on stage. Just came on and just took it over.
Not only Michael Jackson, but he came with 4 very professional dancers, the likes that we don't usually see in this area. It's just totally unbelievable. And, I mean, when you saw him on stage, you knew it was Michael Jackson, or a very, very, very good lookalike.
The impromptu performance convinced a stunned audience and theater staff alike that they had seen the king of pop. But was the whole thing a hoax? The British Tabs nabbed London-based impersonator Navi as the most likely suspect. According to a statement written by event organizer Matt Fittis, the students and their families were promised a special guest, and he believes no one was disappointed. But the identity of the man shown here is still a mystery. Was it a real thriller or an off-the-wall fake? A representative for Jackson has denied that he was ever there, but eyewitnesses still really believe that they were visited by the gloved one. When it comes to urban legends, there's nothing quite like a visit from beyond the grave. The Headless Horseman's return from the dead may just be a legend, but in the music world, more than one rock star has really come back from the dead. While many musicians have been casualties of the rock and roll lifestyle, there are a few that have lived to tell about it.
And how disappointing would a rock star be if they didn't at least overdose once?
Take the case of Nikki Sixx, who was pronounced dead at a Hollywood hotel in December of 1987 after a night of heavy partying. The Motley Crue bassist had been dead for over 2 minutes in the back of a speeding ambulance before a shot of adrenaline saved him from the abyss.
It wasn't a few beers. I mean, it was hard drug use, and more so than anybody will ever know.
With his addiction and near-death experience behind him, Nicky and the Crue went on to rule the early 90s metal scene. In 1999, Motley Crue was alive and well, having finished a U.S. tour and is recording a new album.
I appreciate them if they live through it. I think that's pretty hot.
That wasn't the last time that drugs would bring a rocker to death's door. Dave Gahan of Depeche Mode also went into cardiac arrest for over 2 minutes as a result of a speedball overdose in May of 1996. Hospital staff resuscitated Gahan, but his near-death experience left a lasting impression.
It's taking everything away from me that I loved. And so I've got to rebuild my life.
Depeche Mode has also made a comeback as a band, having just finished a U.S. tour in support of their greatest hits album.
It's not particularly glamorous, the idea of becoming a corpse. It's not the best look.
House of Pain MC Everlast is one of the more recent stars who have voyaged to the other side. After the House tore itself down in 1996, Everlast had a few lean years, but eventually returned to the recording studio to work on his first solo album. On the final day of recording, Everlast collapsed in the studio and had to be rushed to the hospital, the victim of an apparent heart attack. After arriving at the hospital without a pulse, Everlast was revived and surgeons implanted an artificial heart valve in his chest.
My health is all over the record though, you know what I'm saying? Even though it was prior to it happening, like listening to it being mixed while I was recovering, and I would get tapes and just be like, whoa, you know, that's really heavy what I was talking about. It's too close to home, you know, that just happened, you know?
In 1999, Everlast released the debut album, Whitey Ford Sings the Blues, which has been both critically acclaimed and loved by fans.
All that white light, you know, the tunnel and all this, you know, maybe I wasn't headed for the white light, you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
We've shown you some incredible myths and mysteries from the world of music, and now it's up to you to decide what's true and what's just another tall tale. One thing is for certain, is that Sleepy Hollow will be hitting theaters on November 19th. Now I'll leave you with one final thought. The number of letters in the phrase Headless Horseman is exactly equal to the sum of the digits in the zip code for present-day Sleepy Hollow. Coincidence? You decide.